Hey Clashers, the sneak peek number 1 for the October season. We have a lot of good stuff. For example, we have a new builder and another slot for upgrading even more troops or spells in your lab. We have new information screen for the troops, for the buildings in general, for like anything. And we have a new district with many other clan capital changes in just the first sneak peek. So let's dive into the Goblin Mines. And you can see already a lot of different buildings. Today, we're going to concentrate though on the defensive buildings and the traps. There's going to be more sneak peeks, so all of those buildings which you can spot which are not in this current sneak peek, we will discuss those then later. But for now, if you're thinking about buying anything from the in-game shop, like Go Pass or any of the offers or any of the skins, make sure to support your favorite content creator out there. If it's Koditsu or if it's me, use Koditsu. I really appreciate that by a lot. But now let's just dive into the first defense. We have the Goblin Thrower. How does it work? Well, we have pretty much a defense which is throwing goblin barrels at like attacking troops, and it's the goblins being spear goblins, because otherwise this defense would only be really big relevant for air, right? So that would be bad. The next thing which you already see with like the overall graphics is it shoots barrels. Those barrels are placed next to it and they're visually showcased for a reason, because overall every single spear thrower has only 5 barrels loaded and there is no chance of getting more, which means if you're attacking the district, it's overall 5 barrels and that's it. It only gets resets to more barrels as soon as you're going to the next clan capital raid, pretty much. So this is really important to note. Another thing which is important to note is if those barrels have not all been like shot towards attacking troops, then that would just spawn as soon as the defense is destroyed, which is as well I think a kind of cool mechanic. As well, they can't attack air, like the barrels can't attack air, the defense itself, but the spear goblins obviously can. The trap is, well, the spear trap, and this is really good against any mass attacks. What does this mean? It means it's really good versus sneaky archers or for example versus minions. Because take a look at that, even though they're sneaky and even though they're invisible, it does not matter because they are going down. Minions, the same thing. But you always need to make sure that there's enough like troop capacity right there to actually activate it, because just one barbarian won't activate it, but as soon as you place the archers, it gets activated and it's just going to wreck a ton of them. But you can see as well, it's not dealing that much damage to, for example, to the barbarian. The next thing is, let's talk about a couple of different changes to the clan capital in general. With the addition of the Goblin Mines and now as well with the most recent one with the Skeleton Park, we have now a lot of districts which we did not have in the beginning, which are kind of cheap with the upgrades. And with that you can really boost your overall upgrade count, which means you could really rush towards Clan Capital 10, which is not a good thing, because with Clan Capital 10 and being kind of rushed, you get the best matchmaking, and most of the clans at the high ranks are abusing that kinda. With that being said, Supercell is going to change this. So now you need more upgrades to actually get to the next level of the clan capital, which is kind of nice. Next thing is, finally, you can now store more clan gold in your storages. This is now going up to 35,000, which is really appreciated, to be honest. The next thing as well is going to be, well, finally, and thank goodness, we have clan capital base links, which means you can share your bases with anyone out there and you can just like copy it to any other clan capital without any problems. The next thing is we get a jump spell buff. This housing space is going to be reduced to 1, which is kind of nice. Next thing is now home village, and for that, for showcasing how the new builder works, I feel like I kind of have to upgrade the town hall first, and by that we can again like really nicely see how those new info screens look like, because they're really nicely showcase how those buildings work, which I think is really great. The same thing obviously is happening to like troops, for example, or spells, showcasing how those really work, which I feel like Supercell is slowly really understanding that they have to make players understand what they're actually using and how they should use it and like how everything works, which I think is a really nice approach. But now let's talk about the Goblin Builder, because this is an event builder, okay? So this is temporary and Supercell is going to kind of test, I guess, how people are going to react to it, because it's not just the 7th builder, okay? Because there's a twist to it, and this might be not the twist which everyone would like to enjoy, but I will try to explain this to you, okay? So first off, we have to upgrade and use those builders, pretty much. When can you actually use the Goblin Builder? Well, there's 2 things which need to happen. First off, you need to have at least 5 regular builders. If you don't have those, it does not work. In addition to that, you need to have all of your current builders active. Otherwise, the goblin builder won't activate. Otherwise, you always have your regular builders getting prioritized, okay? So they always are the first ones to work. The goblin builder is kind of lazy, okay? He's kind of relaxing. And there's a reason for it. Because as soon as you're upgrading a building with the goblin builder, he's asking for gems. And it's not too cheap, to be honest. It's 40 gems for every single day. And with paying this does not mean that the building is instantly ready or anything. It just means that you have the gems spent and you're allowed now to have another upgrade going at the same time as like other things are going. Now, sadly, Supercell thought about this quite well. And walls, because they're having no upgrade time, well, each wall is like 10 gems, which is unfortunate. I first thought, okay, this is like really cool for all of those players out there. You can just save the goblin builder and always use it for walls. That would have been insane. But sadly, it's like every single time always 10 gems. While for every single complete day, it's always 40 gems, as you can see with the traps. This now works as well for the lab. This means you can use this as well for the laboratory, because you can see on the top left side already, there is a new overview. So far, we always only had the builder there, right? Like with the recommendations, what should you upgrade next, what should you do with the resources and so on. But this now is changing because you now have an upgrade recommendation as well for the lab, which is really cool. I think it's a really nice change. And in your lab, you can see now there's 2 options again. You have the regular option on the top left. So if we upgrade now the healer, for example, we have that going. But then again, we can use another upgrader, which is the goblin. And again, it's kind of greedy. And they're going again for gems. And as I said, it's always 40 gems per day. This is kind of how that works overall. And well, for that upgrade, it would be 720 gems overall. Let me know how you feel about that feature. I think overall it's great for clashers who have like spent money anyways, because it's getting cheaper overall for them. So for those players, it's nice because they have to spend less. For the players who were free to play, I don't think they will gem that. Maybe let me know if you think there's anything really good where you could invest the gems on. I think maybe heroes. Maybe heroes might be a good thing to use, because typically, especially in the beginning, their upgrade times are not that crazy high. So heroes might be a really good option to use this goblin builder on, but I think you need really good coordination. But let me know what you think about it. The next thing is going to be, finally, we have that blimp bug changed and fixed. So far, let me explain if you're new to this and have never heard about the blimp bug. How does this work? With the latest update in the summer, Supercell has introduced a change where the troops from the clan castle should be released quicker. And with that, for example, if you had goblins and sneaky archers inside your blimp, the goblins came out too quick, so they could not really trigger traps and save your archers from any damage. Well, they introduced the change, but there was a bug in the game. If you used 8 or 9 troops in your blimp, well, they were coming out of this as quick as before, so pretty much nothing happened. So the blimp was as strong as after that update, and with this update, they're changing it. So to summarize it, the nerf which they planned for like Super Wizard and Super Archer Blimp and everything in the summer update, this is now being pushed back into this October update, because this is now where this bug is fixed. If you have not abused this bug before, there's nothing going to change for you. Don't worry. You won't feel any difference whatsoever. This change only applies to everyone who abused the bug and, well, is abusing the 8 to 9 housing space inside the blimp. I think that's really, really good. Otherwise, let me know what you think about this first sneak peek, and thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys back tomorrow with the next video. Until then, see ya, and bye-bye.